How's it going, everybody? Zero here, and we are going to get in to my top 10 games of 2015. Now, I did this video a couple of times, and I did a lot of honorable mentions, and I kept lengthening it out. It ended up being like 30 minutes, and I thought to myself, this is too much. This isn't what this is supposed to be about. Let's get to the top 10 games. Let's talk about why I like them. And let's move on, because 2015 was amazing. There's so many good games that the top 10, that's great, but there were 20, 30, there were so many good games that I knew I couldn't do a top 5. I'm sticking to 10 because we could talk about these games for hours, man. 2015 was an amazing year. I can't wait for 2016. Before I start off, let's honorably mention Metal Gear Solid 5, which I did not get to play, and that's the only reason it's not on this list, because I really think that would have been a top contender. But the games that I did play that didn't make the top 10, Batman Arkham Knight, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, The Order 1886, all of these fantastic games. They didn't make Halo 5 even. They didn't make the list. But that's not because they're not good games. They could be your favorite game. They could be in your top 10. Those are all excellent games. My top 10, my favorite experiences. Here we go. Let's break them down for you. Number 10, Destiny, The Taken King. I think that we all can agree that when Destiny first came out 2 years ago, it was a piece of garbage. It needed to be redone. What Bungie did to this game before its release was despicable, and I think they ruined it. I think they ruined it for me. I got The Dark Below, but I didn't get House of Wolves. I was just kind of fed up for it. The Taken King really made up for a lot of that, and even though it is not a perfect game, you can see that they're trying to bring it back. The campaign was better, the story was better, the characters were better. I really like Peter North doing the Dinglebot voice now. I think that's great. Destiny the Taken King, number 10 on my slot. Number 9, Rocket League. This is a game that I really shouldn't like, but I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm not big into sports games. I'm not big into car games, but it just hits the mark so good with both. The physics are amazing. So the driving is impeccable. The physics with the ball, it's just crazy. It feels so well placed. It feels so balanced, but yet you don't have to be amazing at it to have fun. Rocket League's a game where I can go in and lose and still have a smile on my face. It's such a fun game. It's way better with friends. The way they released it for free on PS4, I mean, it couldn't have had a better launch. I think that's another contender for best launch of the year. That game came out as a small game and just took over everybody's hearts. I got friends that they do nothing but play Rocket League. So, fantastic game. Rocket League, number 9. Moving on, number 8, Wolfenstein, The Old Blood. Now, 2014, The New Order was one of my top 5 games, and 2015, Wolfenstein, The Old Blood is no exception. They came back, the prequel to Wolfenstein, The New Order. It's awesome. It's a great game. Great shooting. The mechanics are perfect. I think the only thing that we could say that is a little light on it is that it's not as long as The New Order, but they did you right. They put it out for $20, and you cannot argue with that. It was a great game for $20. I love playing it. I'm going to keep it on my system for a long time. Number 7, Mad Max. Now, Mad Max was a game that I picked over Metal Gear just strictly due to time. They both released on the same day, and I knew it wouldn't be as good as Metal Gear, but time-wise I thought I could get through Mad Max a little bit quicker. And with school and work and this channel and my family, I had to make compromises. Metal Gear I'll come back to, but Mad Max was amazing. It really excited me. The only thing that I didn't like about it was having to travel around for picking up scrap. But there was a point to it. You got to build your car. You got to increase this magnum opus that you were driving around with Chum Bucket, and in your adventures, you really felt like you were gearing Max up, like you were gearing the car up, and now I can move on, I can take on bigger enemies. It was really cool the way that they did the car combat with the grappling hook, and I mean, maybe the hand-to-hand combat wasn't spectacular, but all in all, as a game and a whole, it was really good. The story was great. It started to fall apart towards the end, but it was a very memorable game for me because I had a lot of fun through the Wasteland. I had a lot of fun doing those videos, and I think a lot of people enjoyed that game watching it. On Twitch, a lot of people were streaming it, and people still do stream it now. It's a fun game to play. It's a fun game to watch. It's not a real serious game, but it's fun. And so definitely number 7, Mad Max. Number 6, Fallout 4. Now, a lot of people got Fallout 4 higher on the list, and I completely understand that. For me, Fallout 4 missed a couple key things. The biggest one was coming out as something a little bit different, as something a little bit new, as something not so much Fallout 3. It was basically Fallout 3.5. That's not to say that that's not the worst thing in the world. Fallout 3 was a great game, but years after, I kind of expected a little bit more out of Fallout. I also felt like it didn't offer you the incentive to just keep traveling around and seeing all there was to see. I almost like once the main story was done, I kind of felt a little lackluster. Like, I really want to go and travel more, but I'm not finding a ton of new items. I'm not getting a ton of new gear. I'm not experiencing a lot of new stuff. And there's a lot to do in Fallout, but it just seems very repetitive. Now, that isn't to say that Fallout isn't a good game, because I put a lot of hours into it, and I did have a lot of fun with it. It's number 6 on my list because it's a game that even though I'm kind of done playing, I still go back to continue playing because I want to try now going through like the Brotherhood quest and the Railroad quest line and see what those have in store. It's not a game that I'm going to put down yet, and that's why it's definitely on my list, because it's a game that I'm going to continue playing in 2016. So Fallout 4, number 6, not as high up there. I think there's a lot of things with bugs too. I'm not going to get too much into that because I didn't experience a lot of the bugs, but you can't discredit the fact that it came out. For a lot of people, had a lot of bad experiences with it. I think they should have took a little bit more time on it. It could have been a little bit better. But for right now, it's number 6 on my list, Fallout 4. Number 5, Until Dawn. Guys, I did not think that I would like Until Dawn. I really didn't. To me, it looked like I Know What You Did Last Summer, the video game. Like this 90s teeny bopper horror show. It's going to be a lot of QTE events. I'm not going to like it. I couldn't have been more wrong. This game, as soon as I put it in, it grabbed me. I couldn't stop playing. The character development, the story, it was so good. It really made me care about these guys. It really made me care about the decisions I made. And as soon as the game was over, I wanted to go back and make different decisions to see what would happen. I never felt so bad when somebody died in a game before. Like, I really felt like I lost something. Like I should go back and do it again. Until Dawn was a really good game. And it's one of those, it's the story games that really got me this year, man. Story games. So number 5, Until Dawn, and number 4, Soma. Another game that I didn't really think was going to hit me so hard, but the story in Soma, the moral choices that had to be made, the thoughts that it gave you. I had a great time playing this. Another thing that made Soma so much fun is that I played it exclusively on Twitch, and over the course of a week, we got to just experience this together, and it was really fun hanging out with you guys on Twitch and playing Soma, going through the story, getting a little scared, a little excited, and then at the end, this just amazement and wonder at like a mind blow kind of ending. Soma was a game that I don't think I'm ever going to take off my system, and I don't know how many more times I'm going to go play it, but it's something that I think about constantly, and I really hope that they do some kind of a sequel. Not a sequel so much, but I think Frictional Games could put out another sci-fi style game like that I would be really interested in seeing. So number 3, Bloodborne. Bloodborne reinvigorated my love for the Souls franchise. As soon as I beat Bloodborne, I went out and got Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, because even though it's not the same as Bloodborne, I don't think they compare completely. I just needed more souls in my life at the time, and so I thought, I'm going to get this package. Bloodborne was amazing. It took everything that Dark Souls was, and it just it sped it up. It put it into overdrive. And I really like the fact that Dark Souls 3 looks like it has a lot of Bloodborne-inspired moments. I like where the Souls franchise went with Bloodborne. I like the fact that they're saying that Dark Souls 3 is probably going to be the end of the Souls, and we're going to move on in another direction. I hope that direction is more in a fast-paced type mode, because the thing that Bloodborne was fast, Bloodborne was hard, but Bloodborne was fair. And I don't think I've ever felt so good conquering a boss and beating a game like I did in Bloodborne. And it's a game that as soon as it ended, I immediately started a new game. The fact that they also put out the expansion pack for it this year, which is, I mean, a pretty sizable expansion, that I was still on the last boss right now, pulling my hair out. The fact that you could push all that into 1 year, I think it really says something about the game, because it wasn't just the base game. You can also add this in and say, overall, Bloodborne for 2015 was a fantastic game. Number 2, The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is a fabulous RPG. I loved both of the other Witchers. I knew I was going to love this one before it even came out, but CD Projekt Red did an amazing job. And the fact that they put it out, they started giving you DLC right off the bat for free. They said, you're going to get all this DLC for free. Don't even worry about it. The game is so big, and it's almost to a fault that it's so big. It took me 30-some hours just to play the main story. And it was so big, I had a hard time displaying it on my channel because I don't have enough time to record all that game. I'd have other obligations. So we did a Monster Hunt series, and it was really cool doing all the contracts and stuff for the channel. But the story itself was huge, and to get lost in the side quests along the way, I just had a really good time with it. And that's another game that is already putting out expansions in the same year of its release, and they're just so fun. They're just so fun. The Witcher 3 is definitely up there in the top 5. Number 2, The Witcher 3. Number 1, this is going to be the most controversial, probably number 1 of all, but it's Rise of the Tomb Raider. And guys, I just have to say that I have not had more fun playing through a game this year than with Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think that it is the most underrated game of the year, and it's not the game's fault as much as it's the developers and Microsoft making this an exclusive game, and also deciding to launch it on the same day as Fallout 4. Both of those facts right there have made Tomb Raider, I believe, one of the most, if not the most, underrated game of this year. It is a fantastic game. It is a fantastic story. It's probably improved on every aspect of the last Tomb Raider, which in itself was a great game. I cannot stress enough how good Rise of the Tomb Raider is. If you are an Xbox One owner, a PC owner in January, you gotta get this game. It's a must own. The DLC is going to be coming out, I believe, in January, and I cannot wait to get into it with some more tombs to explore. The thing about Rise of the Tomb Raider is not only did it look beautiful, that it played beautiful, the mechanics were strong, everything was great, but it incentivized you to explore. It was like the olden days of Tomb Raider. It incentivized you to go through these tombs. Yeah, you could continue on this linear story if you wanted to, but you could also stop and explore the world around you and find these secret tombs. And if you did that, and if you fought the bears and made your way through the tombs and got the prize at the end, it would help you out throughout the rest of the way. I guess one good example is the Greek fire. If you wanted that, you could go, you could do the tombs, you could explore, you could find Greek fire, and then you could shoot flame arrows with this burning hot Greek fire. But if you didn't want to do it, you could just blow through the game really fast. It's an amazing game. I can't wait to play it again with all the different cards and stuff. And I don't want to get into a review for each of these games. I just wanted a quick list. So Rise of the Tomb Raider is number 1. Guys, I know this list is going to be controversial, but they are my top 10 games of the year. What are yours? Let me know. Hit that like. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Am I wrong? Am I right? What games did you like this year? Guys, 2015 was an amazing year, and I can't thank you enough for hanging out with me on Twitch and here on YouTube. I will see you guys next year in 2016. and I cannot wait to get into those games. Guys, this is Zero, and I am out.